Timmy Joe reviews anything.
Reviewing computer parts on YouTube.
That's
Woo! Gotta be pumped on that, right, Will? Computer parts! Woo!
Oh yeah.
This video is brought to you by FSP and their CMT 500 series cases. The CMT 510 offers a squared-off look, 3 tempered glass panels, 4 RGB fans, and enough room inside for custom water cooling. The CMT 520 offers a more angular shape, front and side glass panels, 4 included RGB fans, and the best part is they're both priced at just under $100. See links in the description or visit fsplifestyle.com for more details.
Whoa, what's up, people? My name's Timmy Joe. I make videos about those things you like to call capooters. Appeared on the internet, and today on the program, I was really late to the fake GPU game, the whole Chinese knockoff 1050, 960, 750 Ti game. But I got a package in the mail from China. I want to thank Dan. Thanks, Dan. You're the man. Probably rhymes or something. He was actually contacting me over these little babies, which we'll look in a different video. It's like a compact flash to SATA, like I guess you'd call it RAID, because they're joining them together. And then this one is actually SD cards, 4 of them, that go together to make one basically SATA SSD. So these will be really interesting to look at in another video. But it's not doing too well, is it? He sent along some other video cards as well, and one of them looks exactly like the scam GPUs that were flooding the internet around 6-8 months ago. And what was interesting to me is it's labeled I believe properly, as this is farting out, isn't it? As a 650 Ti, or sorry, just a 650, but it actually says it has 4 gigs of VRAM. So I believe even these Chinese cards are scamming their own people, saying, that they have more VRAM than they really do, because if we look at GPU-Z sensors here, it's only ever getting 960 megabytes, and eventually, because I have all the settings cranked on Heaven Benchmark, it shits the bed. It craps out. It's probably going to do it right now. Because I have it on extreme settings at 16 by whatever with tessellation and all that stuff enabled. Is it gonna crap out? Anyways, so no, it keeps going. We'll run it until it screws up. So what kind of temperatures we running at? Apparently only 49 Celsius, so it's not working too hard getting those 15 to 25 frames a second there in Heaven Benchmark. But well, we'll let that run for a second. So I've seen this version several times where they have weird little NVIDIA logos. We'll look at this in a second. It has Chinese branding on the fans, but they still sell this to some degree, and it's terrible. So GPU-Z added a fake GPU detection, but mine doesn't come up like that. If we look back at it, if we just go to graphics card here, it's an NVIDIA logo. It doesn't say anything's wrong, but it's listing it as 4 gigs of VRAM. And it definitely only has 1 gig of probably GDDR3. But we'll take it apart and we'll look at it. So it hasn't crapped out yet. It usually crapped out by now. That's interesting. So we'll let her keep going. And it's supposed to have added some sort of functionality for that. And, lots of people have done videos. I like Phil's Computer Lab's take on them. He actually tried to reverse it back to what's interesting is I could give him this BIOS, but he was swapping BIOSes on them, trying to get them to work properly as, a retro video card for Windows XP or something like that. The problem is when the drivers are fake, it's not really like in regular drivers. They came on burnt CDs with drivers and stuff like that. Really weird stuff. Oddly enough, this actually just loaded with whatever NVIDIA drivers I had installed, because I have had a 650 Ti boost on this test bench before. So a very similar video card. But yeah, this is definitely, they're still scamming their own people. And he said this might be a year and a half old, and he only bought it for a coworker to fire in a system to just watch YouTube videos on. For that kind of stuff, you'd never have a problem with this. So, you see here, they're still trying to sell it as a GTX 960 on Canadian Amazon for what, $73. That's a scam. And this whole seller's got some serious scam action going on. If we look, well, they got 1050s with that weird shroud. You can always tell it, whatever. And This thing is just, even if you used it as its regular, it's such a crappy video card. Like, what the biggest problem with it is as you see here in this B-roll, I can't plug my my HDMI cable into it because of where... Oh, did it finally crap out? It did. All right, so yeah, it craps out eventually. So you can't run any sort of high-end graphics on this thing without it shitting the bed. But I had to actually take this... I know it's a crappy Phenom or AM3 motherboard. I had to take it off the standoffs and move it in here slightly because you can't, like, unless you have a really skinny HDMI cable. We'll actually just shut this off. Then it's you can't plug in any normal HDMI where they've shoved an HDMI on this card. It's terrible. So yeah, it's off now. We'll switch back to this so it's pretty. Yeah. So yeah, detection. There we go. So this one, as you can see, now that the system's finally shut off, has one 6-pin connector. And here, we'll turn this camera on. All right, we have the top camera working, and we can see, if anyone knows what that says in Chinese, I tried to get Danny, he's supposed to be an English teacher in China, to maybe decode that, but he hasn't got back to me yet. At least I don't think he has. Where's my phone? Has not got back to me yet, but we see it looks like it says XM there. I don't think it matters. There's all kinds of weird branding on these. It doesn't mean anything. And we'll just take it apart and look. But as you can see, it says straight up 4 gigabytes of VRAM, or 404,096 megabytes of GDDR5. Yeah, right. Interesting that, you know, they're even scamming their own people with this, and there's so many of these video cards made, must have just popped on the eBay train to make it, you know, try and make a profit. It was like a pretty big scam. A lot of people got scammed on these. I've even seen people throw these on, like, you know, they thought they could mine with them or something. They bought like 5 or 6 of them, and then you see them on like a Craigslist ad saying how, you know, these are really good cards, but I don't need them anymore. Yeah, right. So, there we go. Really interesting, too, is that heatsink. But the fan is not PWM, and they just put this other little connector in there. So, I wonder if I could read the memory chips. So, they're Hynix memory chips. And then there's this weird blue, like, thing on there. So, I'll go grab a cloth. But, you know, it's a real NVIDIA GPU. It's a really tiny one, a real NVIDIA GPU. So, what's that saying? It's a Taiwan, it's a GK107450A2. Let's Google that. 107-45. Oh, it would help if I was typing. GK107-4. Why am I not typing? Why can't I type? God, that's annoying. There it is. We can go GK107-4. But I still can't type in that! There we go! A little bit of rage there. GK-45A2. Yes. What are we for GPU? We're a GTX 650. All right, so they're not screwing that. You know, it's not like this is a 450 GTS or something. It is a 650 GPU, which would be Kepler and not super bad. But it's got Hynix chips, and it's got 4 of them. So unless these are 1 gigabyte each, which I really doubt, you know, and we know for a fact they're, you know, 256 each, then, you know, if they're so... The whole point of this video was just I've never played with this before, and, you know, I thought it would be funny to look at them. As you can see, it's really hard to plug the HDMI in, click, because it barely fits there, and once you get some sort of computer, I have a really thick one on my test bench, but some sort of PCIe bracket in there, it's impossible to plug that in. But, you know, what 960 or 1050 Ti has a VGA card, you know, cable. But, you know, it needs a 6-pin connector, too. So it's pretty easy to look out for these. And it's got a pretty dinky heatsink and fan combo, and the fans are going to be running full speed. But it's not that bad because they're very, very quiet fans, even at full speed. It's a little dusty. So this was used for a while in a system and didn't crap out, or at least, you know, there was no reporting of it crapping out, but apparently the girl wasn't playing any video games. So I want to thank Dan for sending this along, and the whole point was just to say, even when it was sold under their Chinese branding, whatever that branding is, they're still scamming, you know, making up a fib that this has 4 gigs of VRAM. Why? Like, who wants a 650 with 4 gigs of VRAM anyways? It's just a weird thing to lie about. So, I don't know. Interesting card to add to my collection. So, I'm @Watch Timmy Joe, Instagram, Twitter. If you have any interesting hardware that you'd like to send me, like, you know, freaking SD card RAIDs that run on SATA, or weird video cards that you're not sure about, me at TimmyJoe.com. But as for now, that was the video. Good video, guys. Thanks very much. Smash that like button. And, you know, I'm not even sure how to plug that back in. Anyway, I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks very much, Dan. Have you guys good name, good day. Patreon, as always. We'll talk to you in another video.
On the internet. Timmy Joe. He makes videos about computers